how was the wrestling last night?
The wrestling last night, yeah, it was great. It was great. Never been. What's it called? The Vivint?
Well, we're changing it to the Verdant Arena for you.
Sure. Where the Jazz play? Yeah, it was good. It was good. I didn't know that a bunch of people from WWE got in touch with me and said, "Are you coming to the show?" I said, "Sure." Where is it? And then they said, "It's in Salt Lake City. You're going to be in Salt Lake City." And I said, "Well, how far is the show from the convention center?" And they said, "Look out a window." So that's what I did. Hey, I was reading, there's a book of dad jokes back there.
Oh no.
I was looking at the book of dad jokes. I love dad jokes.
I blame Provost for that.
And actually, it was open to the page of my daughter's favorite dad joke. Do you want to hear it?
Oh no.
Okay. When is a door
You're done.
not a door? When it's a jar.
I love that one.
That makes me so happy. For all the dads out there, you guys know. Yeah. That's right.
Wait, when does a joke become a dad joke? When the punchline becomes apparent.
He does this. I've been to dinner with this guy. He does this all the time.
It's the best. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Most of my jokes my dad told me I can't tell here. Well, there's one.
Oh, no.
A skeleton walks into a bar and he says, "Give me a beer and a pop." She is terrible.
I got one more for you.
She's
I got one more. It's my favorite joke. I heard it. I think it's brilliant. Okay? I think I told it to you though. I told you the gaslighting joke, right?
No.
Yeah, I did. No, the gaslighting joke. I told you the joke.
My therapist is going to hear about this. I want to talk briefly about wrestling culture because it's so fascinating to me. The first WrestleMania, and they would tour occasionally. They wouldn't just have it in one location. You'd travel to a place to go see it. And they stopped by here at the Salt Palace at the time. And it was the first WrestleMania, and that was my first exposure to this culture. And it's just fascinating. It's a lifestyle. It's almost a religion, right?
I mean, I think that wrestling culture and pro wrestling culture, it's a little bit like what we have now with Comic-Cons, right? I mean, it's just, look, don't try to explain it. You know, there were guys last night and they had this gimmick, like they're big fashionistas and they come down with their own paparazzi and their own manager, and when they tag each other, they just do it with a pinky like this. It's so stupid. But it's amazing, and if you like it, you like it, you know? Like, I didn't know what those outfits were this morning from season 4 of Stranger Things, because I haven't seen it. I'm waiting to watch it with my daughter. We're not quite there yet, but like, yeah, pizza outfits, I love it. So wrestling culture is like that. I mean, you hand yourself over to a product, be it in person, which is a cool experience, or just something that you're watching on TV, and you just let it entertain you. And does everything have to make sense? No, of course. Life would be so boring if everything made sense.
And these guys are artists. I mean, they're not
100%,
they're not
yeah.
only athletes, but they're artists,
Yeah.
and performers,
Yep.
actors, all of it, right?
Yep. And it's actually really interesting watching them perform, because one of the things that wrestlers are taught is that when you're performing in a ring, you're performing not for the person that's sitting right in the front row at ringside. You're performing for the person that's in the last row of the upper deck. So when you see them be all animated when they get hit, oh, like that, that's what they're trained to do. And that's that's sort of like stage acting versus acting for film or television.
Playing in the back.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I love you guys in the front row, but I care way more about the ones in the back row back there.
So let's talk wrestling villains for a second. Who's the greatest heel of all time, and why is it Roddy Piper? I'm sorry.
It might actually be Roddy Piper. Ric Flair is a great heel. Oh man, there's some good ones. Triple H had a good heel run way back in the day. There's this guy MJF right now that is like, the thing about wrestling right now is there aren't a lot of straight up bad guys. Because if you're a bad guy, you're a bad guy. That's a heel. Whereas now, you got heels that are like, yeah, I'm a heel, but like, I want to be the cool heel, right? Because they all want to be so bad and so entertaining that in this roundabout way you start rooting for them. Which is actually like very similar to like a show like, maybe like Arrow, or like say Breaking Bad, or something to that effect where, I mean, people were rooting for Walter White.
And we shouldn't have been.
You should not have been. No. People forget with that series, because it took place over so many years, that it only takes place over the course of the actual series. The actual timeline only takes place over the course of maybe about a year, I think. Walter White's doing terrible things. Like, I'm next to Giancarlo Esposito today, who's a good friend of mine and played one of the great villains of all time. We were rooting for Gus Fring. We should not have been rooting for Gus Fring. But whatever.
But then with a wrestling heel, you get that, if you're doing it like you're saying nowadays, you get that chance for a redemption arc later on.
Yeah, sure, but also just the wrestling, the heel in wrestling is in charge, in the ring. Like, sorry if I'm gonna break the kayfabe cap off here a little bit, but when two wrestlers in the ring, the good guy, the face, is not the one that's calling all the moves. He's not the one that's calling all the spots. That falls solely on the guy that's playing the heel in the match, because people will only cheer when they really, really dislike the person that they're rooting against. Like, they can like the person that they're rooting for, but if they're facing an adversary that's not formidable, then they're never in danger. And if they're never in danger, then there aren't any stakes. And if there aren't any stakes, then no one cares when they make their grand comeback, right? Like, there's nothing, making a crowd cheer is easier. Making a crowd boo you is hard. It's really hard.
When you get the boo, that's a good thing.
When you get the, I'd 100% be a bad guy. I'd 100%. I need a change of pace. Look at the number of people that are in here. You're all cheering. I'm ready for boos.
Oh, Seb, you're missing out.
I changed my mind.
I want to hear at least
Was
one
there
Arrow
much
story.
pro wrestling in Canada when you were growing up?
Yeah, Toronto was one of the big stops. They would always come to Maple Leaf Gardens, and Montreal has a pretty storied history in wrestling. A lot of wrestlers that people know, like Bret Hart, Owen Hart, they all trained in. A lot of them trained in Calgary with Stampede Wrestling. Wrestling has Wrestling has a very deep Canadian lineage, and a lot of your favorite wrestlers have been Canadian, actually. Chris Jericho, lots and lots.
Now you've done it.
Yeah,
A bit.
yeah.
Did you ever get hurt?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, let's see.